The boys are back in town. It's JG and Ben for another Game to Love podcast. And we're on the clay courts of Paris for the Olympics. Carlos Alcaraz, a big favourite for the men, and Iga, a favourite for the women's. The big question which we're all asking though, who's going to win? Nadal or Djokovic?
That's right, we're back for another podcast, back together again. I'm back from holiday. JG is back from feeling slightly unwell. How are you feeling for starters, JG?
I'm a lot better now, seeing your beautiful, happy face on a podcast. I've missed you a little bit. How much have you missed me?
It's been really tough times over in Portugal, under the really hot sun, eating lots of glorious food. But there was the odd moment where I thought, JG would like it here.
I wonder what he's doing in the office on his laptop.
Exactly right. But I feel refreshed. We obviously had Wimbledon last, and after that, we've had a nice little break between then and the Olympics. There's been a few smaller events going on. Meanwhile, I haven't really given my thoughts on the Wimbledon victory of Carlos Alcaraz since Wimbledon, or more for me, how disappointed...
Not publicly. You've not said anything publicly.
No, or how disappointed I was really with the whole Djokovic getting to the final and not even being competitive at all in that final. So I think we should start there on this podcast, because people have probably been waiting to hear a podcast from us for about a week or so now. So I'm going to get stuck into it and speak about Carlos Alcaraz. And I thought what he did in that final against Novak Djokovic was nothing short of amazing. I thought Novak Djokovic really disappointing. I mean, I know that he's come out since Wimbledon and said, if you'd have told me I was going to be in the final of Wimbledon a couple of weeks prior, I would have bitten your hand off, essentially, because he didn't think that he was going to be able to even really compete that or be that competitive. Even still, when you get to the final and you're Novak Djokovic, it's a little bit sad when you're not even really competitive at all against somebody who we've seen so many great matches between those two that have gone like 4 hours, even in a 3-set match. This one, Alcaraz was just miles above the level of Djokovic, and he completely battered him in that final.
There was a golfing level completely, and Djokovic, despite breaking back and looking like he could maybe close out that set towards the end, even if he did, I think it was just the writing was on the wall, and he felt like that, and that's why I think he wasn't frustrated. My big takeaway a week on, or maybe longer than that now, is that when he was losing and Alcaraz just kept doing amazing things with that tennis ball, he wasn't trying to gee himself up and get himself into it, and frustration, anger, roars, because he just felt like he can't beat him. And simply, when Alcaraz is playing at that level, I think Djokovic, at this current stage of his career, is unable to deal with him. But there's a long way to go if them two are to face at the Olympics for a gold medal. It would be the gold and silver medal match. There's plenty of matches to be played along the way, and I don't know if you saw my preview I did the other day, but we are on a collision course for a Djokovic-Nadal second round match.
Yes.
I asked in the intro, who would you fancy? Djokovic has done his part, winning today. Nadal needs to beat Fucsovic, I believe. If we get that match second round, who are you edging towards?
Well, it's the big question, isn't it? I couldn't believe it, for starters, when I saw this draw come out, and I saw Jose Morgado instantly post about it, just saying, oh my word, we've got a potential Djokovic-Nadal second round match. And it just has shades of Roland Garros from earlier this year, doesn't it? I mean, it seems like he can't catch a break right now. He had Zverev in the first round at Roland Garros. Now he's got Djokovic in the second round at the Olympics. And Rafael Nadal has even come out and said the Olympics means more to him than a major, because it only comes round every 4 years. And that must have meant this next action must have meant even more to him. Zinedine Zidane passes the torch to Rafael Nadal. That's right. And he is part of the Olympic opening ceremony. There he is on the screen.
Yeah, very iconic photo. I'm sure it was a special moment having Zinedine Zidane, a big Real Madrid figure, as a manager and a player. And yeah, really nice to see Rafa. I think this is probably the most iconic photo of the year. Is it more iconic than the Donald Trump assassination fight? I'll leave that up to you. But of course, I'm probably a little bit biased. One thing I want to go back to, Ben, I feel like you've tiptoed around the question very well there. We know you're a big Djokovic fan. Do you think your man can beat Rafael Nadal? Of course, he needs to beat Fucsovics first. If he can do that, we're going to see the two of them play for the 60th meeting. The bookmakers, you'd think, would have Djokovic as favourite, I think. I don't know how you feel about that.
I would think that they would do that.
Yeah. So, but how do you see it playing out? Obviously we'll do a preview closer to the time if it happens. Are you quite confident in your man?
I mean, I wasn't after seeing that performance in the final of Wimbledon, but
yeah,
if
but
you look
Alcaraz, come on.
But if you look at his
Nadal's
performance,
no Alcaraz right now.
Exactly right. And if you look at his performance at Roland Garros, Djokovic, before the injury, I think that there were some little troubles there, but I think that he was still good enough to beat a Nadal at that time, because Nadal is still suffering from injuries himself. They're both not spring chickens.
We never got to see Rafa at Roland Garros because he played Zverev first round and played really well, and ended up losing against someone who did some amazing things, got all the way to the final, almost won the whole thing. So, I don't know. It's a very interesting one. You're going to refuse to answer the question, I can already see.
I'd go with Djokovic, to be honest, because based upon what I've heard through the grapevine is Nadal is still feeling a little bit injured as well, based upon him training, cutting training short as well. Something to do with like some strapping on the thigh. Djokovic he's probably carrying something as well. It's just a battle of the wounded, these two old veterans, wounded, fighting it out for a 60th time. I can't wait, but I will be rooting for Djokovic. Nadal, you've got your gold medal already. Step aside, because there's still even bigger gauntlets ahead, even if he gets past Rafael Nadal.
Yeah, Djokovic's match today is nothing to speak about at all. It was the most one-sided beatdown I've ever seen. The opponent did not want to be there. I think, what was it? You got an image of him celebrating after
he won a
game.
game.
Ebden. I mean, I saw him he did a post, I think, before as well on social media saying, he just realised that he's got Djokovic, and if he wins that, he's got Nadal. I don't think he had much hope at all. And yeah, at the end of that, I'm not going to speak about the match. I think that photo sums it up quite nicely. But one great stat for Djokovic, and I did send it to you, and that is now him at the Olympics. He is the all-time leader in singles wins. Nobody has won more Olympic matches in singles than Novak Djokovic. Yet, he doesn't have a gold medal to show for it. He does have a bronze, of course. I think, is it 2008? Maybe. Yeah. But he's got 14 wins. Federer with 13, Murray with 12, and Nishikori with 11.
That was the year that Nadal won it, I believe, against Fernando Gonzalez in the final.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Djokovic with the bronze. That'll get tossed into the trash should he get the gold medal, I'm sure. He's only here to win. That is the only thing Djokovic is here for, is the gold medal. I think this year, at all, I said at the beginning of the year, this is his main focus over everything. He would be devastated if he doesn't get this gold medal. And I think he is fully focused. I think that first match shows how focused, because he's not even playing around. He's not messing about on court, not even giving any games. One game is all you're allowed. Now he's off court again. Time to recover. Back, ready to see if he faces Rafael Nadal. And he'll be fully focused, knowing that that's such a hard matchup, especially at Roland Garros as well. It doesn't get much more difficult than an opponent than Rafa, and especially Rafa, who he's going to be better, I think, than when he played at Roland Garros, if he's fitter than he was then.
Yeah, agreed, mate. And I'm just having a look at some tweets, really, of what's going on, and there's a lot of talk about Nadal's injury, and I think we should quickly touch on it, because there's no guarantee that he's going to play. as much as we're seeing him training with Alcaraz, there was a nice video today of him practicing with him, and Djokovic was there as well, and they were shaking hands, having a little chat.
Yeah.
It's all very touch and go with Rafa, and we just don't know when he's ever going to play or if he can play. I think it's a bit like with Murray, like it could be a few hours before when he pulls out still. So I don't want to get my hopes up, but I feel like if he is going to play, it means he's going to be able to play at a level, and that level for me will definitely be enough to beat Fucsovic, and I'm very hopeful that he can beat Novak Djokovic as well, and that's all I'm going to say on it. Let's wait and see. Of course, there's been a lot of rain as well. We should speak about that.
Yes.
So all of the plays been cancelled or delayed. The only matches happening are on Saturday at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the Olympic ceremony, you took a chance, didn't you? Let's have it outside. that didn't work too well, did it? It was as wet as the river that they came down. Everybody wearing coats and umbrellas, and I mean, it was almost like it was in the UK, to be honest. That's what it felt like. But I mean, it was one of the weirdest opening ceremonies I think I've ever watched in my life. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we should speak about that briefly. I don't want to offend too many people, but I mean, the opening ceremony, I've never witnessed something like it. I mean, I'm not the oldest person, and there's not that many Olympics I've got in my catalogue, but it's just become so woke. It's unbelievable. And I don't think there's a lot of people online who just did not enjoy it, and I'm one of them. I thought it was far too much. It was a bit of a drag queen show at one point.
Well, the one thing that people were talking about is not just the fact that it was a drag queen show. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's the fact that apparently.
But does that represent the whole point of it? Is it needs to it represents the country and what? So I remember we had the Industrial Revolution when we had the GB one. For Beijing, I was doing all these cool stuff with the drums, and it's like all about your history.
I get the fashion.
I don't understand
show
what
stuff.
the fashion show part. But are they the capital of drag queens, or is France where it's known for? I don't really know the connection there.
I think the thing that the people were getting annoyed about online was that they said, have they replicated the Last Supper but with drag queens or something like that? I didn't really understand it. I've not really seen the full thing, but I've seen so many clips of it, and it was so bizarre to me.
It just doesn't make sense. That's all. I don't know how you can pinpoint it to French history.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really understand it. It just seemed like all a bit too mishmash. Didn't seem like anything was very cohesive. They darted from one thing to another thing. Then you got people coming down the river on different boats. Then you got some like mechanical horse that was going down there on. I don't know what was going on coming down the river, like some masked crusader coming down there on a mechanical horse. It was bizarre, and then I don't know. For me, I don't know. Even like Macron was there as well, giving a little bit of a speech. He didn't really say much, did he? I thought he would give a little bit of a bigger speech, but it just seemed a bit disjointed. I think maybe if the sun was out, it would have maybe gone down a little bit better, but it seems like it was a little bit of a damp opening ceremony for me. They tried to build it up a little bit, but I think there's been a lot of protests in France about the Olympics as well, and how much taxpayer money goes towards something that ultimately makes a loss in every single country that it is hosted in. And this is one big thing. Like apparently Macron wanted to clean up the Seine because that was where it was going to be hosted, and it would cost taxpayers 1.5 billion to clean it. So there was going to be a dirty protest by the whole of France. We're going to just plan to go number 2 in the Seine. So
I've not seen that, and I don't know the economical repercussions like maybe you do, but I don't know. I do love the Olympics. I think it is a great sporting event.
Oh, it's brilliant.
And, I don't think any country should be reluctant to take it on. I find it quite surprising, actually, them stats you said. I thought London, we benefited quite a bit from it, especially infrastructure-wise. A lot of Stratford. And
I think infrastructure, but it makes
stuff they had really has developed because we had an Olympics, and I know we're going for 2040 as well. But let's get back to the tennis.
Yeah.
Because I've not spoken about the women's at all, and Iga is the hot red favourite. It's on the clay. Yeah. I didn't see your preview yesterday, but I'm assuming you had her winning.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's not really anybody else that I can hold a torch against, really. I think that she is the key person who it's hers to lose. She's won. I'll pop up the stat I had on the other video.
Yeah.
She has won 21 matches in a row at Roland Garros, and she hasn't lost on the court since the 9th of June 2021, which is 1,143 days.
The only thing I could say is Coco Gauff. I feel her draw's nice. She's got a very good draw. She's a good clay court player. And I think her representing Team USA is only going to help her because she's there with champions. Let's remember, there's a lot of people. I've seen a lot of imagery. I'm looking at one now of her on the bus with proper champions. I mean, you've got the basketball team. You've got
LeBron.
Real big favourites for gold medals. I don't know the runner. What's her name? Soraya Thompson or something?
Not too.
I forget the name, but I know she's. Where is it? I do have it here. Sha'Carri Richardson, who's someone who's a hot red favourite for the 100 metres, I believe. And I believe that she's surrounding herself in these circles with a lot of gold medalists. And that mentality, I think, is going to be very important when you come to an Olympics. It's not necessarily the best player what wins. And on that basis, I am really liking Coco Gauff's chances. I think she's going to be motivated, which is a key thing for the Olympics, because not all players treat it with the respect it deserves. And her draw's not bad.
It's not bad, but there's part of me that feels, is the occasion going to be too much for her? I think it could be on her side, like you say. America like a lot of team sports. This turns into a little bit of a team sport. And I think that they like their old college tennis, that type of thing. It could end up a little bit like...
they're very smart as well. I don't know if you've seen all like the Blazers. They've got all the...
Yeah.
They're just so... They're very, very patriotic, the Americans. They're all sticking together. And that's why I think they do so well at these Olympic events, because they are one big team and one big family. And that does help when you go represent your country.
There you go, Coco Gauff and LeBron James. This is it. Saying, "Mama, we made it." There you go. It's a nice picture.
So I'm saying it's pretty cool, isn't it? I think that's going to motivate you, surely.
Definitely. I mean, what a great picture that is as well.
Or it could go the other way and just distract you completely.
Oh my God, I'm with LeBron. Just like so many celebrities everywhere. She's probably one of the biggest celebrities probably there at the Olympics herself, though. You got to remember, holding the flag is like something that not many people can say that they've done for their country at the Olympics. So massive moment there for Coco Gauff. I still don't think it's going to be enough to get past Iga at Roland Garros. If you haven't watched my preview, go check it out now. I think that we could be seeing a repeat of the Roland Garros final. That's my personal opinion. But yeah, if you want to see how they both get there and the predictions along the way, go check that one out. And I don't even have Coco Gauff getting a medal at the Olympics.
Ooh. So who's your silver and bronze?
My bronze is Mukova.
Okay.
I think there's going to be a lot of rematches in the women's one because there's been a lot of matches going on over the past week, and I think Kim Min-jae obviously just won a title. That was in Palermo, beating Mukova in the final. She's coming in good form. She replaces sort of Rybakina in the seeding system now, and she's on Iga's half of the draw. I don't think she'll cause her enough problems, to be honest, and I don't think she'll even have to face her. So I reckon we'll have a semi-final of Iga Mukova, which will be a repeat of last year's Roland Garros final. And we've got Bencic not in there this year, so she can't even defend it. We got Mila Andreeva, who's just won her first title as well. She could be a potential second-round matchup for, I think it is Jasmine Paolini. I think that's right anyway. So that could be a really good start to the tournament if you're able to get past Andreeva in good form. But I think Paolini is just very solid. I think she won her first match as well earlier on today. Yeah. So I'm really hopeful for her to do something big for Italy again. And I think she's made 2 finals back-to-back. Why can't it be a third one?
Yeah, fly the flag for Sinner, as he's not going to be there left at home. Let's talk about the doubles before we wrap this one up, because I sent you a really cool image, actually. And this is of course, Nadal, Alcaraz. But Nadal's gone from playing doubles with Carlos Moya at Athens 04 to playing doubles with Carlos Alcaraz at Paris 24. So 20 years between them. His longevity is insane. And yeah, just an awesome photo, I thought.
Yeah, he's changed a little bit, hasn't he? There you go. He's got the old, he's nearly identical haircut as Moya, though. But then, obviously, he becomes... Are we seeing something for the future here? Is Nadal going to become part of Alcaraz's team? Go in the box like Moya's done with Rafa? I mean, that would be an even more interesting end to the story for Rafa if he becomes part of the Alcaraz
Well, listen
team.
to this one. Carlos Alcaraz becoming part of Rafael Nadal Jr.'s team and coaching him.
It's going like another level. Just keeps on going. And then, how many more layers are there to this story?
What I wanted to lead to, Ben, is can they win it, the doubles? Because there's a lot of really good doubles pairings, and maybe we can do a quick review of the men's doubles draw, considering that it is very special with the players we have on offer there. It's not going to be easy. I mean, you've got the one what really stands out to me. I can't find it now. I think it's Bolelli, Vavasori. I don't like the look of them too.
Yeah, very good.
The Tsitsipas brothers. They've got Salisbury, Skupski. Well, who's the number one seed? That's what I was trying to find.
Let me just try and bring... Oh, no, I've got mixed doubles. Oops.
Yeah, so the number one seed is Bolelli, Vavasori. Makes sense. Yep. And the number two seed is Quaretz, Poet, the German doubles. You've got Medvedev's playing with Safulin. Monfils is playing with Roger Vasselin. That's probably that terribly wrong. But yeah, great. We've got Evans and Murray, Felix Raonic, Fritz and Paul. You never know what they could do together. Borges Cabral, dangerous. They're playing the Tsitsipas brothers first up.
Ooh.
But what's their honest chances? I mean, the first match is not actually an easy one at all. Gonzalez Molteni, two doubles players to start things off. And Nadal Alcaraz are big favourites for that one. It's going to be in about an hour's time, potentially. If it's on, I'm assuming it's on Saturday. I'm not sure though.
I mean, maybe exciting if it actually goes ahead. I'm sure it's going to take centre stage. No matter if you've got those two players playing on any court, they're going to bump them up into a pole position. Yeah, I mean, exciting stuff. I think it's a winnable one, even though they're playing is that the number 6 seed?
Mate, they're good. That's the thing. I mean, they lost at Wimbledon to Purcell Thompson, but in 3 sets. But they beat Broome Ferry, they beat Mahat Zhang, they beat the Tsitsipas brothers easily at Wimbledon. So they've got some kind of pedigree. I mean, they played at Roland Garros with each other, and they beat Rosa Glasspool in the opening round.
Ooh, yeah, that's tough as well. I'm quite interested to see how Murray gets on. Bear in mind, this could be his last ever match now for Andy Murray. No matter how, in this tournament, that first one, that could be his last match. Or he'll go through with Dan Evans, and then they'll face the winner of Belgium or France in the next round. We got Hugo Humbert and Arthur Fies. That's a good partnership. Yeah. Two really good players in form as well, both of them. I think they'll probably win that match, to be honest. I'm not holding much hope for Murray Evans. I'm sorry, Andy. I don't think it's going to be the big send-off he really wanted. I think it will be a little bit of a sad send-off. But he's had so many times when he's been saying, I'm going to retire now, that it's got to come to an end eventually, hasn't it? I can't see him pull out of another tournament. It's just getting sad now.
This is the end for sure. Anyway, I'm going to be supporting Alcaraz and Nadal. Let us know in the comments section who you'll be supporting, and we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you everyone for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and join us for some Olympic commentary as we go. We're hoping to be able to cover the Nadal Djokovic one, but it's work permitting. But we'll definitely do some previews and some content around it regardless, and just see what happens with it. Hoping everyone does enjoy the Olympics. It's been a bit of a rough start. I didn't enjoy the ceremony, so hopefully it's only upwards from here on out. Yeah, I agree. Let us know your predictions for who's going to win the Olympic gold medal in that comment section as well. We want to hear all of your thoughts. Do you think Djokovic is going to be able to do it, or do you think this is just sort of the year of Carlos Alcaraz at the moment? It seems he's won the last 2 slams, and we're back
at the place where he won a slam already. So, I mean, it's looking like it's sort of his name on the medal at the moment. Someone just has to knock him out for Djokovic, I think.
It's definitely been a great year for Spain, as the England football team know. But we'll see you soon.